How's it going, everybody? Back here for another update video. This is another dual update video, this time because Greg broke the burning boxes in update 10, so I had to wait until 11. So this is the update video for 603.10 and 603.11. 603.10 fermenter recipes were added to the fermenter, obviously, for distilled water biochaff makes biomass. So you can now make the IC2 biomass in here. Let's see. IC2 biomass and distiller recipe for the IC2 biomass to ethanol, and added fuel values for MFR, Ender.io, and immersive engineering fuels as well. In general, I fixed a lot of fuel values to reflect the max you can get from them in RF based generators. Good that Gregtech stuff consumes so much energy to justify this increase. Alright, so if we look back in here, you'll see you can take the biochaff and distilled water, make biomass. That can be burned in a burning box. I've never tried it. You can distill it into ethanol, which is like the forestry ethanol, which will give you distilled water out. Or you can turn it into this biomass, not real sure what this one even, oh, this is the one that'll make it in the still. Alright, so it's the same thing, but that way the fermenter can do the forestry ethanol that I prefer to use, so I'm glad to see that that's in there. You got to do a mix between forestry and IC2 way of doing it, but I have no issue with that. Nice thing is he added in the honey, and hopefully he added in the apple as well. I'm looking to see here. That's honey with a broken texture. Water. Come on, show me apple juice. Fruit juice right there. Haha, perfect. So you can take your squeezer, put your fruits in, get your mulch out, get your fruit juice, put that in to make your multiplier for your biomass. So now we don't need a forestry fermenter any longer to make ethanol. So that is awesome. Now a macerator is not being used. Shredder, you can do any kind of leaf, but you can't use Gregtech scissors to cut leaves, so remember that. Got to make regular shears if you want to do it that way. Sugar cane, plant balls, vines, weeds. That's all that's in here for biochaff. What about potatoes and stuff? Centrifuge, rock cutter. See, a macerator can do it from pumpkin seeds and cactus and all that kind of stuff. Seeds, potatoes. So let me look here. Biomass. Fermenter. To make biomass is only the chaff stuff. So what about saplings? That's one of my favorite ways of making ethanol, is saplings. Greg! You need to add saplings and stuff in here. Alright, so apparently there's actually, let me see if I can find it quickly. I overheard him talking about it today. Some really good scotch there. Cider, biomass, beer. Wonder if, no, beer wouldn't do it. Let's see. Golden cider from golden apples. Wine, scotch. Scotch should be able to do it. Let's see. No, I don't see where scotch will do it. And neither will that. Let's look it up this way. Vodka. There we go. Vodka. You can burn vodka. Can't burn scotch apparently, but you can burn vodka. And vodka will come from potatoes. Potato juice. Distill potato juice into vodka. Potato juice comes from squeezing potatoes. And mulch, unless you're going to use this, I still don't see really a use for it unless you're going to use it to make bog earth. So let's look up saplings, see if he did add something that I'm just not seeing. And I can't spell, but that's nothing new, we all know that. So sapling, you can burn it, you can macerate it, Greg, into biochaff. You can compress them into a plant ball though, so we could do the plant ball thing. But man, that's taking a lot of power to make power, because you're going to have to put 4 saplings in to make the plant ball. Then you're going to have to run that through the shredder to get the biochaff, and then run the biochaff through the fermenter to get the biomass. And then the biomass, you can either burn it straight or distill it for ethanol, and then burn that in here. So I'm going to have to try this out to see just how much extra power you can get. By the way, this will bring up, we now have liquid burning boxes to burn these fuels in. And if you look at fuels, you have creosote oil, nut oil, ethanol, olive oil, biomass, sunflower oil, linseed oil, heavy oil, light oil, very heavy oil, regular oil, vodka, another damn oil, that's Buildcraft fuel, nitrodiesel, fish oil, biogas, seed oil, biomass, and hemp seed oil. That can all be burnt in here. And you'll see that things like biogas will give you 72, where something like seed oil will only give you 2. And if you use nitrodiesel, 576, regular fuel, 384. So it all depends on what you want to use on how much you're going to get from it. Okay, so absurdly low spawn rate of large tetrahydrite and cassiterite ore veins has been fixed. So now we should have a much better chance of finding tin and tetrahydrite. Thank goodness. Extinguishers now put out burning boxes. I haven't made one yet. Need to test that. I'll do that hopefully in the next video when I try out the fermenting and stuff like that. I'm going to try to make a video of just that and the liquid fuel burning boxes. This update video is going to be pretty long with all the things I had to look at, so I figured I'd save the actual testing of stuff for the next one. Let's see. Redstone machine switch circuit cover to be able to turn machines on and off using redstone on the side the circuit is attached to. So let's look these up here. Let's see. Redstone circuit board cover. There's the redstone machine switch, redstone auto machine switch. This one is just a tin cable cover, basic circuit, and a redstone torch. This one is a lever, a copper wire, a cover, and a good circuit. This one is automatic. It'll automatically turn on and off using redstone, but it'll let it finish, where this one will automatically turn it off and on by redstone. So basically, the first one is if you put redstone to it, it's going to end, no matter if the recipe is done or not. The other one will take a redstone signal, turn it on, let it run. When it's done, then it'll turn it off. So I think that'll be good for some of the machines I have around here. Especially like downstairs for the circuits. This thing here as well, because I need to test this real quick for Greg. I do believe it still doesn't pull these very well, and he thought that it did. And if you look, it's got power, it's in the input, and it is, wait a minute, that's the wrong one, stupid. Alright, let's test this properly. This needs to go over here to this one, turn it on, and you'll see it takes off. But if I remember correctly, the problem was if it had an automatic, it would not turn it on and off. So I do need to test that, but I don't think I have another automatic switch around here. I have my crowbar. I lost my crowbar. Where did I put my crowbar? Crowbar. There's a crowbar. Alright, so turn that switch off. Pop that one off of there real quick. Pop that off of there. Put it on there. I'm going to take this off of here. Let it sit over here. It's going to run through what it has. And at the end of the video, I'll check back and see if I put it on there, if it automatically starts. Alright, so that's the covers. Then you have the auto redstone, which I already talked about. And there's a new button. Buttons everywhere. We have, where is that's the regular buttons. There it is, advanced button. Uses a screwdriver to toggle its modes, uses a cutter to toggle modes, uses a monkey wrench to toggle modes. It's got a bunch of modes apparently. Soft hammer to toggle the state. Chisel to change its design. Use a tool and sneak for more options. Use a wrench to set its facing. So this is one heck of an advanced button. It uses a tiny tin alloy plate, a wrench screwdriver, fine red alloy wire ×2, fine aluminum wire, 2 tin screws, and a tin alloy spring. Oh, tin alloy screws. So it's just a whole bunch of tin alloy to make this thing. And the wires. So I'm going to have to check them out. I know if you go to Greg's Patreon page, you'll see that you can paint these things all 16 different colors, and there's different special little characters you can get on them. They are just really, really crazy on all the things he added for these buttons. I want to run over here real quick just to see if I might happen to have a little bit of tin alloy on me. Tin alloy dust. And I think that's all the tin alloy I have. And I need a tiny plate. Let's see. Tiny plate comes from cutting a plate. Now, screw comes from a bolt. So I'm going to have to melt down those and use a bolt mold to make the screws. I got the lathe, so that's not a problem. I'm just wondering if I can actually get one of these out of one. I'm going to try it. It's less than one to make the whole thing. So now you will melt at 1258. So get on in there. Take this down to 1300. Turn you on and let you go. And let's see. Last thing is that liquid burning box. Might as well look at those while this is cooking. You'll see we have all these nice burning boxes right here. It doesn't have a lead and bismuth. Starts with bronze. There are less of these than there are the regular. So you've got bronze, invar, steel, titanium, tungsten, tungsten, steel. So there is no chromium, lead, bismuth. I think that's the only ones that are missing. And then you also have the dense ones of the same flavors. And they basically take the same amount of stuff, just a little more tooling, because you use a small steel plate, which is made from a curved steel plate instead of the regular plates on the side. And for the dents, you use quintuple steel plates and large steel fluid pipes rather than all the quintuple plates. So that's your new liquid burning boxes. And like I said, I'm gonna hopefully set up a way to do that with in the next couple videos. There might be one that comes out in between because I might live stream a bit with Junior, but that'll be over at the new area rather than over here. And before I go trying to snatch that out of there, let's go ahead and switch. Alright, give me that plate. Turn that off for now so we're not wasting a bunch of power. And we'll try making one of these fancy little buttons real quick. Now, did I say I could cut this in a saw? Yes. Alright, so you get in there and you do your thing. And then we're going to have to melt that down. I'm going to need 2 bolts and a rod. So let's come over here. Do I have a bolt mold? Does not look like so. Oh, yep, I do. Alright, so you're a long rod. You're not needed. You're a bolt. You are needed. You are a zombie. You are not needed. Yeah, go over there. There we go. Got rid of the invader. I should have beat him with a crowbar. Alright, so let's look and see if this is all done. And it is. So let's go melt some of this back down. And see if we can make us what we need here. So I need one of these. I'll throw all this back in there. Turn the power back on. Get this out of my hotbar. There should be a rod one in here somewhere. Sticks and rods. There we go. Alright, so now we'll just wait for this to get done. Pour us 2 of these, and then we'll make us a rod. Alright, so there's 1. There's 2. Knock that out. Make that. Turn that off, and I'll get the rest of that out of there later. So now we'll come over here. And I should be able to do this in the roll bender. Oh, you need fine wire? Okay. So a rod will make fine wire. Alright, so tin alloy in there. I have the red alloy wire. I just need aluminum wire. Alright, tin alloy. You go in here. You make my springs. And you 2 go in there and make my screws. And button. Put this back up. And we have everything there except for this. And aluminum is glowstone, silver, and 3 tin. So 4, 1, and 3. I have 4 glowstone here. Apparently Crazy's having a headache. Do we have any? I think tin's back over there. Do I have any silver? There's a silver. And I have exactly 3 tin. Alright, so silver, tin, and what does this melt at? Because I don't want to screw up my glowstone here and have it combines at 739. This boils at 15, so we're okay, and we should be able to pop that right on out of there just like that. So there we go. We got 2 aluminum rods. And that will make our aluminum wire right there. So we need 2 of these. We need 1 of these. We need 2 of these. And let's see if we can put this together here. Button. And oh, I did grab them. There they are. There and there. Oh, I forgot the spring. That's what I was missing. Okay. So, screwdriver. And I got a wrench in here. And we'll go get our spring. And we'll put that in here. And there's our advanced button. So we're going to plop this on here. There's our advanced button. It does light up when it's activated. And let's see, we need a screwdriver, wrench. Let's see what they do. Signal length, so you can make them go longer. Kind of like the big buttons from Open Blocks, but you ain't got to stick something in it. You just got to use a screwdriver on it. And this should make it turn if it can. But apparently, oh, there we go. We can put it out on the front of the block. On the front of the air block, which is kind of weird if you ask me. And let's put it back here. Now, what was the other tools we could use? A cutter and a monkey wrench. Let's look at these here. There's cutters. Give me that back. Alright, so cutters, signal strength. Can change it. Shifting goes backwards. So that's how much it's going to put out. And do I got my monkey wrench with me? Yes, I do. Switch mode, button mode. So switch mode is going to be on, off. So it's going to be like a lever. That's kind of cool. And I think the soft hammer will be like disabling it. Let's check that out. To make a stick here. And make a new soft hammer, because apparently I broke mine. Alright, so let's go see here. Emits when unpressed. Okay, so this is basically just changing it backwards. So it will emit a redstone signal opposite. So if I do this and I do this, it's now in button mode. And apparently I've set its duration too short, maybe? Man, that is a long button push right there. So now it's going to be off for that extremely long time. And back to switch mode. Alright, so there's your advanced button. I do believe that's all the different tools. Oh, chisel. Almost forgot the chisel. So, you got a exclamation point, arrow, smiley face. I think that's a mushroom. So there's your different symbols. I thought there were more symbols than that, but that's all I'm seeing. And then you should be able to paint them, do you have to have a painter, I'm guessing? I know Gregtech spray paint will work, but I gave mine away. So let's try an IC2 paint roller. This will make Crazy happy. There you go. Now it's purple. And you light it up. Oh. I don't know if it's double clicking or what. But there you go. You painted all kinds of different colors. So, now, last thing, and probably the hardest for me to get through because my mouth is not going to like trying to say all these chemicals, is the 603.11 update is fixing the burning boxes, but it also added aqua regina and related ore processing for gold, platinum, and tin. So, now we got to look up this stuff. Aqua regina is this stuff right here, and you can see it's used in a bath on osmium, iridium, tin, rhodium, meteoric iron, platinum, cassiterite, sheldonite, nickel, gold, palladium, all these things. Now the one I'm wondering, mithril, we ain't got, that's not it. Come on, where's the one I'm wanting to know about? Sheldonite, copper, okay, that's good. That's not the one I'm looking for though. Iridium again. Mitosium, mithril again. These are the tinies I've already seen. There's the tin, which will give you zinc and this stuff here. Copper. Yeah, it's not in here. The one I was looking for was the chalcopyrite and the penta, I can't pronounce it stuff, that in IHL and GT5U you can make the same platinum group sludge stuff from. It's actually the only stuff you can make it from. Oh, wait a minute, I think copper might be in there, but that is not in here. I don't know why he chose not to use those two in here, because they are copper and nickel ores. They're just a byproduct ore. Maybe that's why he chose, because they're not pure. But anyways, you'll see a lot of them have this red chloroplatinic ore. Basically what that stuff is going to give you is platinum, chlorine, and hydrogen in an electrolyzer. And the other one that we kept seeing was the stannic. Now I got to get back to where I was. Let's just do it this way. There it is, stannic, which will give us tin and chlorine. So that's an extra way of getting tin. You'll see this is tin, purified tin ore, which will give you a 50% chance of 3 tiny refined zinc ore, the 2 stannic, the hydrochloric acid, and nitrogen dioxide. And it takes 13 aqua regina to do one thing of purified ore. Then you get this refined ore, which can then be either hammered or smelted straight into 1.222 units of tin. So you would be much better to just smelt this straight to get you 11 nuggets worth than to crush it into tin dust. I would even go as far as saying, even if you're alloying it, you should smelt it first and then use the ingots to alloy rather than wasting that extra couple nuggets of tin or any of the other ones. Now, to make this stuff is a bit complicated. It's not terrible, but it's a bit complicated. It's going to take some mixers. There is no chemical reactors to do this. You just do it in a mixer. So you've got hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. 2-to-1 ratio, almost, and 2 to 1.25. And that gives you one thing of aqua regina. Not quite sure why you have a loss here of 2.25, but apparently that's what you're going to get. So hydrochloric acid you make with salt times 2 and sulfuric acid. And that will give you 2 things of hydrochloric acid and 7 things of sodium bisulfite dust. Or you can do it with rock salt and sulfuric, which give you potassium bisulfite dust and your hydrochloric acid. The potassium stuff you can then electrolyze into sulfur, potassium, hydrogen, and oxygen. You can also use it to make fertilizer, which is always useful. Alright, so then you have your hydrochloric acid. Now for the nitric acid. Now you'll notice that it needs nitrogen dioxide and water to make nitric acid and nitrogen monoxide. Nitrogen dioxide only comes from the bath, or the squeezing thing that there ain't even any of those things. I'm not quite sure why he didn't add the nitrogen and oxygen and then nitrogen or nitrogen dioxide or nitrogen monoxide and oxygen to make nitrogen dioxide. I told you my mouth wasn't going to like all this. That we could do in Gregtech 5 and IHL, but this way it still does have a way of making it, and it's not really that difficult. This one is just sulfuric acid again, with saltpeter this time times 5, which will give you your potassium bisulfite and nitric acid. And you get 5 liters of that for this recipe. And then you mix those together with your hydrochloric acid, which will give you your aqua regina. And then when you run it through, you will actually get some of the hydrochloric acid, nitrogen dioxide back out, depending on which thing it is you're using. If you do it this way, you get the nitrogen monoxide, which then only can be turned into nitrogen and oxygen, which is where I would like to have a way of putting, this back together with more oxygen to make a nitrogen dioxide. Again, not sure why he didn't add that, but maybe he'll answer that. Alright, let's check this out. We got, oh crap, it filled with oxygen. Son of a gun. Alright, I do. Alright. So let's go stick this on here because I've got so much oxygen, it's ridiculous. I really need to get a way set up to use this oxygen because I have so daggone much of it. I've got that whole tank out there full. All these pipes are now full. And now I'm filling up drums. So I'm going to finish this test after the video. And hopefully he was right and it will pull from them. I was thinking it didn't. But I might be wrong and he might have fixed it. Personally, I would rather have like Ender IO or thermal expansion that has tanks that will automatically output from the bottom, or even yield tanks like what I use in Gregtech 5 that auto output from the bottom. Or a nice Gregtech pump would be awesome. Greg, if you're listening. But that's still coming, hopefully. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments. Leave them on the IC2 forums for Greg, or go to Greg's dev channel on IRC and ask him there. Have a great day. See you next time.